Chosen one, you are getting a new home. God gives you this easily. The atmosphere around you has shifted. You may not be able to explain why you've been feeling this inner stirring, this sense that something different is happening, but the shift is real. There's been a change in the invisible structure of your life. And it's not just hope or wishful thinking. This is divine orchestration. God is about to deliver a new home into your life. Not a maybe, not a someday, not a long shot. It's done. This isn't a vague promise. This is a solid declaration in the spiritual realm. What you're walking into is already established. A place has been prepared, a sacred space, a dwelling that matches the level God has elevated you to internally. This is a season of settlement, and it's coming with peace, with ease, with confirmation. Watch this video until the end because there's something here meant for you. A message wrapped in divine timing. And write your warmest wishes in the comments and write Amen along with the number 99 as a spiritual agreement. Because this moment isn't ordinary. It's a gateway to activating your desires and energizing the entire universe around your promise. Now, chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. The journey to this moment has not been smooth. There have been tears, doubts, nights you didn't know where rest would come from. Some of those nights were spent staring at ceilings you didn't own, living in places that never really felt like yours. Borrowed walls, temporary spaces, transitional seasons. But all of it was building toward this. God saw every single detail. The frustration, the faith it took to remain steady, the prayers whispered behind closed doors. You may have thought those cries went unnoticed, but in the divine realm, every tear was a transaction. Every act of faith was a currency. And now the harvest is showing up in the form of a new home gifted with ease. This new home isn't just physical, it's a spiritual confirmation. It's a mirror to the growth you've endured, the maturity you've developed. You're no longer who you were back then. You've been refined. Your energy is no longer compatible with instability. That's why certain environments have started to feel uncomfortable because your soul knows you've outgrown them. You were never meant to stay in a space where your identity was hidden, your presence tolerated instead of celebrated. God didn't design you to be cramped in someone else's corner. That's why this move is happening. That's why the universe is aligning circumstances that you don't even see coming yet. There's a divine relocation taking place and the foundation has already been laid. Sometimes you feel it before you see it. That strange sense of restlessness, that inner discontent, not as a complaint, but as a signal. Your spirit recognizing that it's time. And you've been feeling it, haven't you? That quiet knowing that the door is about to open, that you're on the edge of something profound. What if I told you the papers are already being prepared in the spiritual realm? What if I told you the keys already exist? The floor plan has been etched into the divine design of your future. It's not something you're earning through effort. It's something you're receiving because of alignment. This won't come through strain. That's the part you must begin to embrace. You're so used to pushing, striving, surviving, but now the reward is coming through surrender. God is giving this to you easily, not because you haven't worked, but because the season of struggle has expired. You passed the test. You stayed faithful. You didn't lose your heart. And because of that, what's coming to you won't come with hardship or delay. It will come with flow, with joy, with clarity, with no confusion. It will be undeniable. People won't understand how you got it. Some will assume you must have had help, and they're right. You did, but not from people. You were helped by something greater, something unseen. God made this possible. God cleared the path, and when it happens, you won't have to prove anything to anyone. The evidence will be in the peace you feel when you walk through your new door. The evidence will be in the sunlight that hits your skin through windows designed for you. The evidence will be in the silence that doesn't echo with tension, but rings with harmony. The evidence will be in your ability to rest finally without feeling like you're intruding or settling. This home will be different. It won't come with the energy of your past. It won't carry the vibrations of compromise. It won't be tied to the old version of you that tolerated less. This new home is a reflection of your new mindset, your new standards, your new frequency. It is a sanctuary, not just a shelter. It is a space for creation, not just survival. It is a reminder that you are safe, protected, and chosen. And when you enter it for the first time, you will know instantly this is what you've been waiting for. But here's the wild part. It will feel familiar. Not because you've been there before in the natural, but because your spirit already walked through it in the invisible realm. It was shown to you in dreams. It was whispered in prayers. It lived in your imagination long before it manifested. That's why it will feel like coming home. Not just physically, but spiritually. Your soul will breathe in relief. Your heart will know it has found its landing place. And in the moments when you're alone inside this new space, when everything is quiet and still, you'll remember what it took to get here. You'll remember the losses, the temporary setbacks, the confusion, the times you almost gave up. You'll remember the times you had to speak life over yourself when no one else did. And you'll realize none of it was wasted. Every delay had a purpose. Every detour shaped your humility, your gratitude, your depth. That's why you can receive this now. Because you're not the same person who started the journey. You didn't manipulate this. You didn't chase it. You aligned with it. And that's why it's showing up with ease. It's not karma. It's not coincidence. It's divine reward. God designed this moment for you. This isn't a house. It's a milestone. It marks the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new era, a divine turning point. And you are fully prepared for it. You won't have to fight for this one. The doors will open without resistance. The timing will be right. The details will fall into place. The right resources will appear. The helpers will be positioned at every intersection. The peace will be unshakable. That's how you'll know it's God. And the best part, this is just the beginning. This home is not the end of the blessing. It's the container for what's coming next. A new level of creativity, a deeper sense of peace, a stronger awareness of your power, a fuller expression of your divine purpose. In this new space, ideas will flow differently. Your energy will expand. Your relationships will elevate. Your rest will be deeper. Your days will feel softer because you're no longer in survival mode. You're in sacred alignment. God didn't forget you. He was preparing something for you that required time. That's why it took longer than you expected, but now it's ready. And so are you. You're still standing. But something inside you knows you won't be in the same place for long. The clock is counting down. Not to an end, but to a beginning. And what's ahead of you isn't just a location upgrade. It's a spiritual stamp of elevation. The energy that once surrounded your life with uncertainty is shifting into divine certainty. You are no longer walking through a hallway of unknowns. The door is visible now, and behind that door is the new home that God marked with your name long before you even had the strength to ask. The blueprint was divine, the placement intentional, the surroundings already aligned with your peace. You may not even know the address yet, but your spirit has already located it. That's why your old space feels so tight. That's why your current location doesn't carry the same comfort it once did. You didn't lose peace. You've outgrown the container it lived in. That space did its job. It held you while you healed, while you evolved, while you figured things out. But now it can no longer house the magnitude of what God has placed inside of you. You were created to expand, and now that expansion is external. God is doing this in a way that won't make sense to everyone around you. Some people will try to talk you out of the move, not out of hate, but out of fear. They can't see what you see. They haven't heard what you've heard. They don't feel what you feel. And that's okay. This isn't their move. It's yours. The confirmation was sent to your spirit, not their inbox. The timing is for you, not them. You don't need agreement from people when the direction is already confirmed by God. This is a sacred upgrade. It's not a coincidence. It's not even about money. It's about the fulfillment of something much deeper. A promise made in silence when you were in the valley and had no one but God to speak to. Remember those moments when you asked for just a little peace? When you begged for rest, for security, for a place to finally breathe. God didn't forget that moment. He stored it, protected it, multiplied it, and now He's delivering it. You will walk into rooms you never imagined entering. You will place your name on documents that once seemed out of reach. And it won't be because of manipulation or control. It will be because of grace. That's the only explanation people will have for what's happening in your life. Grace moved, favor acted, heaven signed, and the blessing was released. There are things you're about to receive that you didn't even know to ask for. Windows that look out over sunsets more beautiful than any you've ever seen. Spaces that hold laughter, healing, divine memories that haven't even been created yet. This new home is a portal, a place where your future will take shape, where ideas will come faster, where clarity will settle in, where divine encounters will happen in rooms designed to carry them. This isn't just a change of address, it's a divine location shift into destiny. Somewhere, the lights are being turned on, the air is being refreshed, a space is being cleansed and prepared for your arrival. The timing will be perfect, the paperwork will clear, the delay will dissolve, and your presence will feel like it always belonged there. That's what divine placement feels like. It's not forced, it's not stressful, it flows. And the way this home enters your life, it won't be how you expected. It may come through someone you least expected, through a phone call, an unexpected email, a quiet nudge. You'll know it's from God because you won't have to beg for it. You won't have to over-explain. You won't have to lower your standards. It will feel natural, peaceful, and timely. Even now, things are moving in the background. There are conversations happening about you. Approvals taking place that you haven't seen. God is making sure everything is in position. He's even making sure that whoever occupied the space before you exits in peace. Because this blessing doesn't come with chaos. It comes with ease. That's how you'll know it's Him. And the beauty of it all, when you get there, you'll feel gratitude in your bones. Not just for the home, but for every moment that taught you patience, for every delay that protected your energy, for every door that didn't open. Because this one is better. You'll look around and realize this was worth the wait. This peace, this space, this light, it was worth it. This is what being chosen feels like. Not flashy, not loud, but deeply fulfilling. God didn't skip you. He prepared something better for you. He waited until the right season, until your spirit could truly receive it. And now it's time. You've been faithful. You've remained open. You've allowed the inner transformation to occur. Now comes the physical reward. This home will not only reflect your new season, it will protect it. It will guard your peace. It will house your evolution. It will be a refuge from the world and a temple for your soul. Every detail will remind you God provides, God remembers, God gives freely, and God loves you deeply. This is ease like you've never known before. You're not just moving into a place. You're moving into a promise. There's something extraordinary about how the divine works when you're being moved into a new chapter. It doesn't happen with warning shots or trumpet blasts. It often begins with subtle signs, a disconnection from what used to feel familiar, a holy agitation in your spirit, a realization that you've overstayed in a season that no longer fits. You begin to feel like you're in a place that no longer serves who you're becoming. It doesn't mean anything is wrong. It means everything is right. Because when God is getting ready to move you into a new home, He first begins to shift your inner environment. You stop feeling comfortable in places that once felt safe because the energy is making room for something greater. Chosen one. That's exactly what's happening to you now. You're not stuck. You're not late. You're in divine transition. And transitions are sacred. They're holy. They're often misunderstood by those who haven't been called. But for you, it's a sign that your next residence is already echoing your presence. The walls of your new home are silently calling for you. It's been sanctified for your peace. This space has waited patiently for your arrival. And while you've been navigating closed doors and unclear paths, God has been preparing a space that matches the purity of your prayers. You didn't ask for something extravagant. You asked for somewhere you could rest, somewhere you could exhale, somewhere that didn't feel like a battle. And because you've asked in truth and not from ego, you're being handed something far beyond your request. God doesn't just answer according to the measure of our words, He answers according to the depth of our heart. And your heart has been faithful. You've carried so much weight in silence, smiled through disappointments, made temporary places feel like home when deep down you knew it wasn't your final stop. You created sanctuary where there was stress. You found warmth in cold environments. You made do with less, not because you lacked faith, but because you trusted that God would eventually deliver something divine. And now that delivery is near. The atmosphere around you is changing. Opportunities that once passed you by are circling back. People who never noticed your need are suddenly being moved to help. Systems are shifting in your favor, and you didn't have to force any of it. It's a divine current carrying you into your next season, and that current flows straight into the door of your new home. Imagine waking up in this space, light pouring through curtains you didn't pick, but somehow feel perfectly aligned with your soul. Walls painted in peace. Silence that doesn't echo with emptiness but radiates comfort. A space that doesn't hold the memory of struggle but instead invites the vibration of vision, clarity, and restoration. That's what God is handing to you. You won't have to settle for noisy neighbors and restless nights. You won't have to deal with landlords who never return calls. You won't have to patch up things that should have been repaired long ago. This time, it will be different. This time, it's yours. This home will meet you on every level, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. Every detail will feel like a gift. The colors, the scent, the sunlight through the window, the way your footsteps sound on the floor. All of it will carry peace. All of it will say, you made it. And not just made it to a new location, but made it through every chapter that tried to break you before this one arrived. You will begin to notice how different you feel in this space. You'll sleep better. You'll think clearer. Your body will stop holding tension. Your energy will stop absorbing chaos. You'll no longer have to protect your peace. It will live in the walls. This is what God gives. Not just blessings, but healing disguised as physical spaces. Divine rest that arrives through key and lock. It's important to remember this isn't something you manipulated. You didn't have to bend over backwards, overextend, or prove yourself worthy to anyone. God already decided. You've already been qualified. The selection has been made. The timing has clicked into place. You are next in line. Not because you hustled your way to the top, but because you surrendered to the divine flow and trusted even when it didn't make sense. Let them wonder how you got it. Let them whisper about the timing. Let them assume it was luck. You'll know better. You'll know it was divine alignment. You'll know you stood in prayer when you could have collapsed in panic. You'll know you stayed kind when the world turned cold. You'll know the cost of this comfort. You'll know the seeds you planted that no one else saw. Because of that, you'll walk into your new home with grace, with reverence, with quiet joy. You'll bring your presence to the space, and the space will respond. It will rise to meet you, and just like that, you'll know you're home. You may have questioned yourself 1,000 times, wondered if you were doing something wrong, thought maybe your season was just delay after delay. But the truth is, you were being positioned. You weren't being denied. You were being preserved because anything less than what's coming would have robbed you of the peace you so deeply deserve. This home was timed perfectly. The delay wasn't a denial, it was divine protection. Because if it had come too early, you would have shared the space with people who didn't value you. If it had come too quickly, you might have sabotaged it, thinking you weren't ready. But now you're ready. Now you walk in wisdom. Now you know how to protect your peace, how to steward space, how to guard your energy, how to discern who enters and who stays out. That's why this blessing will last, because now you're not just receiving a house, you're receiving sacred ground. And you'll treat it like the gift that it is. You'll fill it with love, with joy, with laughter, with creation, with rest. You'll water it with gratitude, and it will multiply that gratitude back into your life. This is ease, this is favor, this is divine reward, and it's yours. There's a new rhythm approaching, And it doesn't sound like chaos. It doesn't carry the tone of uncertainty. It doesn't echo like struggle or move like survival. No, this rhythm flows like calm waters. It moves like answered prayers. It breathes like divine peace. And it's pulling you toward it slowly but steadily, like waves toward shore. It is the rhythm of a life that's finally stabilizing, a life that's no longer at war with its surroundings, a life that has found its space to rest. This is what it feels like when you're approaching your promise, when the divine coordinates have locked in, when God Himself has opened the space. You've already begun to feel it in small ways. The shift in how you view your current space, the disinterest in trying to decorate what was never supposed to be permanent, the feeling of disconnection in places where you once found comfort. It's because the soul knows. Your spirit is always ahead of the body, and it's already walked through the new threshold. It's already touched the doorknob of the space prepared for you. That's why you've been feeling in between two worlds. That's why your sleep patterns have shifted. That's why you feel emotionally stretched without understanding why. You're not tired, you're transitioning. There's a difference between pushing for something and being pulled into alignment. In the past, you had to chase. You had to convince, you had to explain why you were worthy. You had to justify why it was your time. Not this time. This time the door will open because the divine has declared it. This time you won't knock until your knuckles bleed. The key has already been released. You'll simply walk into what's yours. No battle, no convincing, just entry, and it will be peaceful. Not just in how it looks, but in how it feels. You won't need validation. You won't need to prove you earned it. The very walls will greet you. The light will feel familiar. The scent will whisper, "Welcome." This is what God gives. Spaces that recognize your spirit. Rooms that echo your frequency. Homes that harmonize with your growth. You see, the truth is you've already changed. While waiting, while praying, while watching others move forward, you were transforming. And now your energy no longer fits in spaces that once accommodated you. The ceiling is too low, the atmosphere too dense. Your wings are brushing the edges of a cage that no longer serves your destiny. That's why you've outgrown the familiar. It's not because you're ungrateful, it's because the growth can no longer be contained. This is how God promotes. Silently, internally, spirit first, then in the physical, soon people will see what you've already been sensing. Soon those around you will witness the change you've been quietly carrying. The address will shift. The energy will expand. The light will increase, and it will all happen without you needing to broadcast a thing. Divine moves don't require announcements. They come with evidence. This home that's approaching, it's not just four walls and a roof. It's safety, it's clarity, it's restoration, it's a launch pad for your purpose. God is delivering more than a residence. He's delivering readiness for what's next, for what's bigger, for what's already prepared, but needed the right soil to grow. You are being placed in a home that can house what's about to happen in your life. It will be big, it will be sacred, it will be rapid, and this home will hold you through it all. In the early mornings when the world is still quiet, you'll sit in that new space with tears in your eyes, not because of the beauty of the walls, but because of the silence that now sings safety. You'll feel gratitude in places that once carried stress. You'll stretch without tension. You'll wake without dread. And you'll begin to create, to speak, to manifest from a deeper place because you are finally at rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is alignment, and in this new space, rest will return to your bones. God is giving this easily because the fight is over. The proving season has ended. This is a reward for holding on when you had every reason to let go. People may question how. How did this happen? How did you find a space so divine? How did things finally click? And the answer will not be logical. It will not be calculable because favor is never predictable. It moves outside of logic. It flows from obedience. It flows from divine design. This is your moment. The quiet arrival, the hidden miracle, the sacred settlement. Let this be your confirmation. It's not far. It's not hard. It's not complicated. It's already in motion. God has already sent the signal. The people who need to assist are already positioned. The spaces that need to be vacated are already shifting. The roads that need to clear are being paved. The bank, the agent, the signer, the helper, the protector, all in alignment. And when it happens, it won't take long. It will happen in one of those suddenly moments. One moment it was just a hope, the next it's a call, a signature, a key in your hand, and everything shifts. No more waiting in the hallways of hope. No more clinging to places that wound you. No more surviving in silence. This is the season of establishment. God is establishing you in place, in presence, in power. And it begins with your home. You won't miss it. You can't miss it. It has your name written into its blueprint. You were made for this move. There is a moment coming so close you can feel it brushing up against your awareness, where everything will shift in your favor. Not piece by piece, not day by day, but suddenly just like that. The quiet fulfillment of a divine promise. The soft landing after a long, exhausting climb. You will look around and realize that your waiting season has transformed into a dwelling season. And the place God gives you will reflect not your pain, but your persistence. Not your struggle, but your strength. It will be sacred ground for a soul that has endured much and still kept its purity. You didn't rush this. You didn't cut corners. You didn't compromise who you were just to get ahead. You took the hard road, the silent path, the lonely route. And God noticed. He watched as you trusted when there was nothing visible. As you kept sowing when there was no immediate harvest, as you held on when it would have been easier to walk away. And that faith didn't evaporate. It built something. It constructed a timeline. It formed a key. And now it's time to receive what you've already spiritually qualified for. Chosen one. This isn't just a home. It's a crown. It's a celebration of who you've become while nobody was watching. It's not about what's on the outside. It's about what it will do to your inside. When you step through that door, something in your soul will exhale for the first time in years. It will feel like freedom, like rest, like abundance that doesn't scream but whispers gently, "I'm here and I'm staying." This is divine ease. And yes, it will feel strange at first because you've become so used to fighting, so used to surviving, so conditioned to expect the process to be long, hard, and delayed. But God is flipping the script. He's handing this to you with grace. He's proving that not every breakthrough comes with blood on your hands. Some come with peace in your chest, and when it comes, it will feel surreal. Not because you don't believe in miracles, but because you've been disappointed so many times that you trained yourself not to expect too much too soon. But God is bigger than disappointment. He is louder than delay. And He's delivering this home to silence every doubt that's ever tried to speak louder than your destiny. This space won't just hold your body. It will hold your future, your next level conversations, your elevation ideas, your restored dreams, your healed identity. It will hold your joy, your laughter, your moments of sacred quiet. It will hold your mornings of clarity, your afternoons of creation, your evenings of peace. And it will hold you fully, freely, gently, because that's what you deserve. Now, not just any house, but a sanctuary. A place that doesn't reflect what you went through, but reflects who you are becoming. A place that doesn't drain you, but refuels you. That doesn't require explanation, but brings confirmation. This is what God has built for you behind the scenes. Do you know how powerful that is? That while you were crying, He was constructing. While you were wondering how long it would take, He was counting the exact steps. While you were grieving what you lost, He was designing what would restore you. And now the design is complete. The season has arrived. The door is opening. You won't need to force it. You won't need to figure it all out at once. The way will make itself clear. The path will light up in front of you. The details will be handled with grace. That's how you'll know it's not you pushing. It's God delivering. This blessing isn't just material, it's deeply spiritual because it restores what the world tried to take from you. It says you're safe now. It says this is yours now. It says rest, you've arrived. And not because of connections or credentials, but because of covenant. You were promised something, and now that promise is showing up at your door. Chosen one, what's coming is going to quiet your soul. It will bring answers you stopped asking for. It will bring closure to seasons you never fully understood. It will validate the wait. It will reward the faith. It will honor the journey. And when you walk into that new home, don't be surprised if you weep. Not from sadness, but from recognition. Because your spirit will know. This is the space it has longed for. This is the air it has been aching to breathe. This is the frequency it has been trying to rise into. And now it will all make sense. You'll remember every closed door and realize they weren't rejections. They were redirections. You'll remember every night you slept in places that didn't feel like yours and finally understand why it felt so wrong. Because it wasn't meant to last. Those were holding spaces, learning rooms, temporary stations on your route to permanence. And this new home, it's more than permanent. It's prophetic. It represents a future unfolding, a peace that can't be shaken, a foundation that won't crack, a place to dream without interference, to rest without fear, to thrive without limits. And above all, it will be easy because God is giving it to you, not based on your perfection, but based on His promise, not based on your record, but based on your relationship, not based on your hustle, but based on your heart. Get ready. You are being relocated, not just physically, but spiritually. This home marks the beginning of something holy.